FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Welcome. You are listening to the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz, back from Vegas, back from Freedom Fest. It was an amazing time, as always. Highly recommend, if you haven't been to it, you go to one of these. It's really just such a fun time. You see amazing people there doing amazing things. We saw Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk, Mark Skousen, the guy who runs it. Really an amazing event and a lot of fun. Stephen Moore was there. All these people. Well, hey, it's libertarianism or bust. We've got the winner of our Bitcoin contest. We'll be publishing that today. You will be notified first before we send it out. But what is going on with gold? What's going on with government debt? Agricultural commodities? Well, Ned Schmidt is with us now. The Value View Gold Report and the AgriView.
Agri-food value.
Agri-food value. All right. So first, gold, silver. What do we got going on here?
Well, in simple terms, we've moved out of an era of stock, and gold has now got a turn. And that comes from 2 big things. We've got the debt situation in the United States out of control. And we've got a Federal Reserve that doesn't know what it wants to do. Mm-hmm. And so those 2 things have pushed the dollar down. The dollar is no longer the magic currency. And gold is simply an alternative to U.S. dollars. And the world is no longer enamored. That's a good word, enamored with the dollar. And we have all this Federal Reserve talk about lowering interest rates, and that has talked the dollar down. Well, other currencies, and the other currency is gold, has risen, not only because the Federal Reserve is talking down the dollar, but every central bank in the world wants to devalue their currency. They're getting a new head of the European Central Bank. And with her background, you can expect that she's going to want to make rates lower in Europe, which is hard to do with a German Bund already in negative territory. And so people are moving out of currency. They don't trust central banks anymore. If I'm not going to earn any interest, why don't I just own gold? And what happened is gold had been going through this 12-year hiatus, and it broke out of that. Mm-hmm. And so gold is now risen above the trading range. And gold is much of the dollar value of gold in the world is a large one, but it is a very illiquid market. It's not like trading Apple stock. So when people come in to buy, this is a market that responds. And we now have broken to I think we got to an intraday high last week of about 1450. And we're about 14 and a quarter this morning, last time I looked.
Yes, correct.
And so this metal is garnering attention. And for the last year, the GLD, which is the ETF for gold, is up almost 16% from a year ago. The NASDAQ, which had been the fun ride with all this techie junk in it, is only up 5%. So people are being drawn to that. The one thing that I'd been looking for, and I think most other analysts were too, is some kind of confirmation from silver. Silver had not been drawing any invested money. All the teenagers are over in the cryptocurrencies. So everyone was watching that silver to see if we're going to draw other investors. Well, that happened. And silver popped to over $16. In fact, this morning, we're talking on Monday morning, silver made another intraday high of $16.51. It's above its 200-day moving average of 1550. And so those metals are now drawing money, and the potential for the metals is extremely good because so few people own the metal. Just a small percentage. We had Ray Dalio. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, I think you did.
I think so. He came out last week. He runs the largest hedge fund in the world and said that we're in a new world and gold is part of that world. And so I think we're seeing those kind of changes and recommendations. We're going to see people at least move a small amount of their portfolios. And it doesn't take a large amount.
Yeah.
It's going to be increasingly hard for investment advisors to look a client in the face and say, well, yeah, I know your Facebook hasn't made a new high since last summer, and gold has, but we think it's still wonderful. Okay, you can do that, but your client's not going to like it.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Oh, got to take a breath there, Terry.
All right. Yeah, that's all. That was a lot for sure. So what do you think we're going to see going forward here? And from a technical standpoint, gold's last resistance point going up was really around 1420. It's closed well above that. So I've heard estimates as high as 1550 by the end of the year.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next.
Today's show is brought to you by U.S. Gold Corp. U.S. Gold Corp is a U.S.-focused gold exploration and development company advancing high-potential projects in Wyoming and Nevada. U.S. Gold Corp has consolidated a district on Nevada's productive Cortex trend and is advancing the Copper King project towards production in Wyoming, led by a team of prolific company builders and renowned explorers, including Dave Mathewson, who is directly responsible for several major Nevada gold discoveries. U.S. Gold Corp is well capitalized and has an extremely tight share structure with less than 20 million shares outstanding and trades on the NASDAQ, a major exchange under the ticker symbol USAU. To learn more, go to usgoldcorp.gold. That's usgoldcorp.gold.
The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Oh, I have no problem with that. I mean, the problem we got is between now and the end of the year. Because if you want to say where it's going, it's ultimately going to a new high. I mean, we just don't know what year it gets there. But we don't have, Terry, is we don't have a chart formation to work with.
Right. It's been so long.
It's moved so far and so fast that it probably just needs to rest.
Correct. And
I see it higher at the end of the year, and I got no trouble with 1550. The point is that this is an illiquid market, and if anything happens, gold is going to advance rather quickly. You're not going to get a chance to buy it again. So you either buy it now, wait for a resting period, or you're going to miss the train, because this is a multi-year train. When we broke out of that decade-long trading range, everything before that becomes history. It's no longer of any relevance.
Correct.
And you can't put numbers rationally on it. I think we're in the beginning of a move that will take gold to new highs. Forget the 1900s. That's history. Those people that are in the technical, we just completed 1900 was wave one. We just completed wave two. So we should be in a wave three that carries to a new high. Now, does it happen at the end of next year or in the following year? That's almost impossible to tell you now.
Yeah, correct. Definitely.
Up is the direction.
It's definitely heading up.
I'm sorry.
It's definitely heading up. We got higher, higher highs and higher lows. So definitely we're going to see this going up.
Yeah, and with the government, the U.S. government had a debt ceiling up until today. Well, they haven't signed it yet. But the president and Congress have agreed to lift the debt ceiling for 2 years, which means they can spend to their little heart's content. And since the elections are next year, we know they're going to spend. And the only way that they can sell that debt is for the Federal Reserve to be accommodating. And that will further depress the dollar. And then you've got all kinds of other issues, Gary, like which one's going to win the election next year. My opinion, the Chinese trade war is hopeless right now.
Mm-hmm.
The Chinese are betting on a new president that will cave into the Chinese. So
big mistake. Big mistake, in my opinion.
I think it is, but, it's we know Trump's view. I don't think any of the others are going to stand up to the Chinese. So
no,
that's my personal opinion.
Yeah,
I'm trying not to think it.
But
I don't like to think about politics on Monday morning, Gary.
Yeah, not after you had breakfast, that's for sure. It's always a bad thing. Well, these next year is going to be interesting. I don't see how any of them beat Trump, but I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again for sure, but I just don't see how they beat him. You got the total clown show there. And, so the Chinese, I guess they figure they have nothing to lose. But if they're betting against Trump and then he's reelected, then it's really going to come home to haunt them. So
I think so.
It's a big mistake. It's a big risk. And they're, I guess it's a sign of their weakness that they have no other play here.
In their view, that's the way it is. They don't have any other view.
Mm-hmm.
You don't. There's two worlds battling in China. One is the people that run businesses.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a whole host of people that have applied for tariff waivers on agricultural products. But if you read the official press, they're just as hardline as ever. We are not going to even talk till the tariffs are removed. Well, that's not going to happen. That's not in Trump's playbook.
No, he's not going to give up. Certainly not before the election. It's going to make him look weak. And look, he's standing up to him. So that's an interesting thing. And that's also rattling the markets. The markets really started going up once Trump, the metals markets, once Trump imposed the tariffs on Mexico. That was really the beginning of major metal advances. Personally, I don't think one really had anything to do with the other. The other thing that's happened here, Ned, is since metals prices have increased, the Dow has gone up. The dollar is kind of stable at that 97 range. Right now it's at 97.24, and interest rates have gone down. So all three of those things have happened, which normally you would think would really put a dent in gold, and yet it's managed to increase in spite of all that. You find that interesting?
I think it goes to money flows, that money has been moving into the metals, and that's more important than whatever people think are the fundamentals. In other words, once money starts moving in a direction, it continues to move in that direction until some event stops it. So the money flow is into the metals, and the gold stock have just excited that even more. I mean, both ETFs have been hitting new highs. And so the flow builds on itself, and it'll build on itself till it gets an explosion upward.
Yeah.
And we haven't yet had an explosion upward.
No hyperbolic move. But Bitcoin had a hyperbolic move there again, and it pulled back again. So how do you figure that one out, Ned?
You don't. You just wait. You just enjoy the ride. This is a time when you just sit back in the seat and let the pilot fly the plane.
Yes.
He doesn't need any of your advice.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? And we knew this day was coming.
Unless it's a 737.
Yeah,
then he might need some advice.
Well, I don't know if advice is going to help, but certainly prayers. The pilot will definitely require your prayers. Anyways.
Oh,
Crazy.
So we're
crazy
finally
stuff.
getting what we've been waiting a decade for.
Yeah, and you and I, well, not quite a decade, but 8 years. I always say I got into this business right like a couple of months before it peaked. I started June 11th of 2012. That's when I started this, or 2011 rather. June 7th, 2011, a date that will live in infamy, Ned. That's when I started this. And you know what? It's basically been downhill ever since. The metals prices peaked in October, and they've been going down ever since, Ned. So maybe I'm a moron. I don't know what I'm doing sometimes, but seems that I waited long enough and it all happened, right?
Right. I mean, you got to be right in the long term, Gary.
Yeah.
Don't worry about short-term trends.
Yeah, well, and you said what you said about the trend. The trend in motion stays in motion. The trend is your friend until the end, right?
That's right.
Oh, my goodness. We're in such a mess. And yet, somehow we keep moving along here. I don't know how it works this way exactly. The death of the U.S. and the U.S. dollar has been said so many times, Ned. And yet, 8 years later, the dollar is still king. I know it's eroded, for sure. But, it just keeps rolling along. Old Man River, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So at some point,
we got a secret weapon, though, Gary, that will eventually come to our aid. Politicians.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as politicians are in charge of things instead of statesmen,
yeah,
it'll eventually work in our favor.
Oh my God! You're so spot on here. It always reminds me, and you've heard me say this a million times out there, as Will Rogers used to say, ignorance got us into this mess, and ignorance will get us out. And and that's where we're at here, right? Ignorance is working its magic.
Exactly.
So I just want to announce the Bitcoin contest winner. You'll be receiving 40 free U.S. silver quarters, 25-cent pieces. As soon as I get your contact info, is Anthony Brown. The closing price of Bitcoin, or I should say the price at exactly midnight of July 20th, was $10,538.94. Anthony Brown, you were about you were a little more than $19 off. You guessed one. Oh, no, I have to edit this. Sorry about this, Ned. I got to start this over. Hey, we've got the winner of the Bitcoin contest. It is Mike Redlark, and I'll get your contact info, where to mail them to you. Your guess was $10,550, and the actual price on midnight, July 20th, 2019, was $10,538.94 as per Coinbase. So congratulations there. We'll figure out the runners-up shortly. Ned, we're going to run a contest on gold prices, and it'll probably be in 2 months from now. I kind of want to do it right before the fourth quarter takes off. You have any guesses where gold's going to be in two months from now? We would be looking right around end of September.
Roughly August 20th.
September 20th. September 20th.
Yeah, 1542.
I love it. All right. This is going to be called Beat Ned Schmidt Contest. And Ned is betting we'll call it September 30th. Ned, you are betting that gold will be at 1542 on September 30th, 2019. It's going to be interesting. Hey, I want to go back to silver. Okay, enough of the levity, distractions, and all that. Congratulations to you, Mike. Thanks for playing along. And to all of you out there, I got hundreds of entries. We didn't quite hit 1,000, so we couldn't do the bigger prize. But hopefully next time you'll all be aware, and you'll be sending in those entries real early. We're going to run it for 2 months. So, Ned, silver. Let's get back to silver, because silver has been, I would like to say, the redheaded stepchild, but I would say is more like the bald-headed stepchild. it's done nothing. It's been in a sideways channel for years. It sometimes has gone over 16, hasn't gone over hasn't hit 17 in I don't know how many years, and got down to 14 something, 13 something, but it's been in this channel, like a 10% contracted channel for years. It's broken through now, like you said, over its 200-day moving average, which I believe gold is well over its 200-day moving average as well, right? So
right,
we got the metals confirming, and silver, the consumption of silver has done nothing but gone up. Where it's lagged is investment demand. We have like negligible investment demand in silver. What are you foreseeing there?
You want my guess of silver in September?
Yeah, let's take your guess too. Why not? We're not going to run a silver contest, but I'd be curious. Maybe we'll run both.
1895.
That was a good year. There was no central bank. The U.S. was debt free, and we were heading for our apex of power and prosperity. Kind of been all downhill since then, even though a lot of things have happened since then, like the tech boom and everything else, 2 world wars. So 1895 for silver. That'll be our next contest. But for this one, 1542. But so silver, it's definitely in a bull market. We haven't seen it make the moves yet that gold has made. But right now, as we speak, according to the Kitco price, which is kind of the best thing we have to go on, 1636 on the bid. So what has changed in silver to make it start behaving this way?
Silver looks cheap to some buyers. You're talking about something selling for $16.50. That tends to bring in a whole other group of buyers that are looking for something that fits into their portfolio. In other words, not everybody's managing a $10 million portfolio.
Yeah.
So other people start coming in to ride the gold market, and they do that by buying the cheaper alternative. When they do that, silver tends to start responding stronger than gold. In other words,
right.
A dollar move is a big percentage gain in silver.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's not even in the decimals on gold.
All right.
So that's what people are looking for. They come in because it fits their portfolio in value, and it causes silver to move more in percentage terms. So as the gold advances, let's say the gold beta of silver goes up.
Yeah,
so
very true.
You get a bigger percentage move in a $16.50 stock than you do in Apple stock.
Yeah, agreed.
So,
anyway, Ned, we got to run. I've got somebody at the door here. Sorry about that. Really appreciate you coming on. We will talk to you again real soon. KL@KerryLutz.com. That's the address for emails. Please send them off. Ned, we'll talk to you real soon.
All right. Bye, Kerry.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.